Welcome everybody. All right, let's take a look at how we can make our game here. So let's add in a game and we'll say that this is a void game for iPhone. And I like to add in a kind of production number, which you can see here. So void game for iPhone, make sure it says language Swift, SpriteKit, and iPhone there. And we'll go ahead and push create, and there we go. Let's run this to see if it works. And I always like to see if it works just because sometimes you run a project and it might not work. Rarely happens with Xcode, but I've had it happen before. Looks pretty good. And now we need to go and hop into our game scene.swift. And I'm just going to close up all the boxes here. And we're going to just delete this. I'm going to delete all the extraneous code. And what's interesting to note is that Xcode starts you off with code with SpriteKit, maybe because that's super new. All right, let's go and let's add in our variables here. And remember, I like to declare my variables outside my class so that I can use them pretty much wherever I want. So we're going to say player is equal to sk sprite node. And what you can do is you can copy that. And we're going to add in another variable here. We'll call this square collect. Make that equal to sk sprite node. We'll add in another one here. We'll call this circle avoid. Make it equal to an sk sprite node. We'll add in another one here. We'll say this is star. Make it equal to sk sprite node. Now what we can also do is we can add in a variable here. We'll call this circle actual and make that equal to an sk shape node. Now, again, the SK shape node will draw a circle, but it's a little bit harder to add in physics to a shape node than it is a sprite node. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to spawn the circle avoid as a block and then just kind of pair the actual circle so that we can go and change the color of it, etc. Now, what's even more cool about this is that we can add in a variable. We'll call this LBL main, and we'll make that equal to an SK label node. And we'll add in another one, LBL score, make that equal to an SK label node. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a variable here. This variable is going to be square speed. Make that equal to 1.5. And another variable here will be circle speed equal to 2.0. And another variable here will be is alive. And make that equal to true. And what that's going to do is that keeps in data form what the player is going to be. Let's add in another variable here. We'll call this score. We'll keep track of the score. We'll add in the variables here to keep track of the player's color. So we'll say this is red background color. And make that equal to UI color. And we're going to add an RGBA value. So you can scroll down and find the RGBA value. And we'll make this 0.1, 0.0, 0.0, and then 1.0. The alpha is the transparency. Now, we're going to theme this later, but this will work for now. Let's add in another variable here. We'll call this red foreground color. Make it equal to UI color. Add in the brackets, and we'll say that this is something like 1.0, and we can say, well, we could maybe make this 0.5, 0.5, and then 1.0. Let's add in a green background color. Make that equal to UI color. RGBA value will be 0.0, 0.0, or 0.1, and 0.0. Now, usually with your RGB values, they're a value between 0 and 1, and the lower it is, the darker it will be. All right, let's add in another variable called green foreground color. Make it equal to UI color, and this one will be 0.5, the green will be 1.0, and 0.5. Now, it's probably not going to look good when we start it, but by the time it finishes, it will look good. Let's add in the blue background color, make it equal to UI color, and it's going to be an RGBA value. It's going to be 0.0, 0.0, and 0.1, and 1.0. Lastly, we're going to add in our blue foreground color, make it equal to UI color, and it's going to be our RGBA value, and it's going to be 0.5, 0.5, and 1.0, and the alpha is going to be 1.0. Let's add in our var off black color, make it equal to UI color, and it's going to be an RGBA value as well. We'll make it 0.2, and I'm just pushing tab to go into between these, by the way. 0.2 and then 1.0. And at any point in time, if I'm going too fast, you can just pause it and take a look at this here. And then we're going to add in an off-white color, make it equal to UI color, red, RGBA value, and it's going to be 0.95. 0.95 and 0.95 and 1.0, of course. All right. We also need a variable that keeps track of this color. We'll call this color choice and make it equal to 0. So we're going to randomly select that number. All right. And for the most part, we can start off our everything here with one last item. We'll say var touch location is equal to CG point. Just like that. All right. This concludes the tutorial.